Welcome back, everyone. It's another episode of The Wisdom of Walt. Kristen, you have welcomed in a very special guest today. Introduce Mr. Dwyer.
We have Pat Dwyer, who I had the privilege of meeting at TEDx Vegas, and we heard from a plethora of really phenomenal speakers. But when Pat started speaking, I nudged my husband and I was like, I got to meet that guy. And so unfortunately, Pat didn't even see it coming because when he wrapped up his
No one ever
performance,
does.
no, exactly. He's out in the hall taking photos, talking with other guests, and I just make a beeline without asking permission, introduce myself as if he cares who I am. And I handed him my card and I was like, we're going to be fast friends. And here we are. So thanks for voluntolding yourself to be here, Pat.
Heck yeah, you know what? I am stoked. And gotta love a friendship. I'll tell you what, we're doing great. We're doing great.
Well, Pat, a
But-
little behind the scenes information here.
Yeah.
So Kristen goes to this event and I'm messaging her, how's it going? What are the speakers like? Are you getting blown away? And it was meh, meh, meh. And then she heard you and she was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, your fate was sealed the second she sent me that message. So a word of caution, don't go anywhere with Kristen if you're just a little bit shy. If you want to remain any sort of social recluse, because she will introduce herself and meet everybody everywhere. Like, I just want to go to the grocery store and get out. She wants to go to the grocery store and have a convention. Completely different approaches. So yeah, you got caught in her net, and welcome, my friend.
I mean, what a beautiful net she be. Come on now, let's be honest.
There you go.
I mean, you two met somehow, and I'm pretty sure you weren't just hanging around your house when she showed up. Although that's a
No,
different
we were hanging at Walt Disney's house.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about yourself and more importantly, what you do and why you do it.
Absolutely. So I am originally a improv comedian from the Chicago area. I was doing Second City and Comedy Sports
wow.
and IO Theater, all the big guys in Chicago. I toured the country for a long time, doing improv all about and sketch comedy too. I did a number of different sketch things, including my sketch group, which did very well for a long time. That was really fun. And then had children. Don't know if you've heard of them, but we had children and I had to find a way to make money. Spoiler alert, children
Right.
cost money.
Mhm.
And we needed to find a way to make a little bit more money. I mean, sketch was great for me. I wasn't doing better than me. You know what I mean? Like it was great. I had one of the jobs that was available. There's I want to say there's 40,000 people doing improv in Chicago at any given time. And I had one
Yeah.
of 40 jobs, maybe. Like it was good, but it's not
Yeah.
going to support a family. It's just not. I mean, my wife would have to work and we didn't want to do that. She really wanted to stay home with the kids. So it was a matter of what do we do? What does that look like? And I met somebody from a large businessmen's networking group in America. And I will leave the name off just in case that's something you'd have to pay for. And
We appreciate that.
yeah, whatever I can do. And he said to me, well, tell me your story. Tell me a little about yourself. And I started telling him where I was at and what I did and where I came from and things like that. And after an hour and a half, slipped away. And he just immediately said, just stop talking. You need to stop talking. And went, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. I didn't mean to take time. I'm so sorry. He goes, no. You're a mate. I want to hear you talk all day. You need to be a speaker. You need to be a professional speaker. That is a job. And that is a thing that you need to do. You love helping people. You love being there for people. You love the craft of theater. And that is ultimately what speaking is in its roots and bones. So maybe you should be a professional speaker. And so that is what I do now with myself. I have a few speeches, but I go around the country, I go around the world at this point, giving any number of those speeches, helping inspire people, helping have them play a little more, have a little bit more innovation, deal with change better, using some of the things that I learned from the world of comedy to bring to the world of business. It's pretty fun.
Love it.
I mean, they pay me to
Yeah.
giggle, let's be honest, and to help other people giggle.
Pay you to giggle.
Could be worse.
Yeah. So
I want that
So
on
the-
a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the wisdom of Walt is very aligned, Pat. We're all
Yep.
about inspiring and motivating people and living your best story, going to the Disney parks and not just seeing them as an escape, but as an example as well. So, what inspires and motivates you? What are some of the stories that you share from the stage that you can tell as you're sharing is moving the needle in the lives of your audience?
Absolutely. Great question. I have a number of personal stories that I tell. Certainly, I usually stick closer to myself, not for ego purposes, because that is gross, but because I think that to inspire people to consider themselves, it's important to consider yourself in showing that off. I've
Mhm,
never been a me say you do kind of a person. I've always been a let's do together kind of a person.
Mm.
So I'm not one to talk at people. It's an open conversation. And I think that from you, friends, listeners, akin of all, Disney has a bad rap for adults sometimes, and I think that is incorrect. But we can talk about why for a while. I do think that to allow people to escape enough that they can inspire themselves to be best is a huge part of what I get to do as a speaker. I mean, I think that in the world of improv comedy, in the world of comedy in general, the idea is to give somebody just enough of an escape that they can function better. Like, I am
Mm.
not a functioning member of society. Like, I want to be the first one to say I'm not a functioning member of society. But what I do is I help functioning members of society function better by having a escape so that they can reprocess and just kind of be away for a second to come back like a momentary vacation. It's similar to when helping people laugh on stage. The thing that you don't know is physiologically laughing for 5 seconds is exactly the same as standing up, twirling around, and sitting back down, which
mhm.
in the
Mm.
world of speaking, they say, oh, you should get your audience to stand up and interact often. Totally agree with that. Nobody wants to, I don't even want to hear myself speak, never mind everybody else. But like sitting and hearing people can be tedious. I mean, even when we're all sick, it is rare we want to sit on the couch all day. I mean, most of the
Right.
day, I mean, let's be honest, but all day, not going to happen.
Sure.
So to have people laugh and to have them be able to get up and move around without ever having to leave their seat and to have them be able to escape. Like, I'm not a brain surgeon, but I can help a brain surgeon better by giving them a moment to
Mhm.
escape themselves and
Mhm.
reassess and go back in and just have a little bit of laughter where it's maybe the consistency creates monotony, which creates drudgery. And so I'm trying to create a space where we can be inspired to something new. Certainly. I mean, most of the things that I talk about on stage are, dealing with change and making those little pieces valuable. Or the speech that Kristen saw me in is called Why to Be Stupid or Just Be Stupid. And the
I
idea
love
of
it.
the speech, thank you. The idea of the speech is to know that your best decision is probably your best decision, even when everybody tells you that maybe it needs to be questioned a little bit more. And they're right.
Mhm.
Certainly take that for information, take it as your data bank that you're rolling through. But there's a pretty good chance that you know something that they don't. And let's talk about what that could be and why. So, does that
I
kind
love
of
that.
answer that?
Yeah. So when Walt was dreaming of a place where parents and children could have fun together and wants to get into the amusement park business, and everyone, to include his own wife and his own brother, are telling him this is a terrible idea. It's going to go bankrupt. It's going to be shuttered. It's going to be forgotten. In 6 months or less, Walt was being stupid, and Pat Dwyer would say, go for it, buddy. Do the thing.
Heck yeah.
Not wrong. I mean, honestly, 85% of us out there about the world are going to prioritize something that a peer said to us over something that an expert said to us. Like, you're going to
Mhm.
listen to your friend over a doctor. Like, that's not good science. That doesn't make any sense. But here, the real rub about this, and I think that like Walt would probably be somebody who would absolutely back this, is that when 65% of your close friends, if it were like, 10 close friends, right? 65% of those people are going to tell you that your best idea is not great. The irony here is that 90% of them take credit for it when it goes well.
Well, of course.
Like, that's,
Bingo.
I mean, so like, Well, let me get this right. You're gonna ride the coattails, but you're not gonna be back in the horse? Come on, that doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
So, it's those kinds of things that make me feel like maybe there's something a little bit more to believing in ourselves, and what is the root of innovation, which I think that Walt didn't just change how families interact, he
Mm,
innovated the way families interact. He
Oh,
innovated the
absolutely.
way that we experience parks. I mean, gosh, the spoke and wheel system, I
right.
might be
Having
calling
fun.
that the
Yep.
wrong thing. Yeah, I mean, the trash cans every 20 seconds, like, that's a nice thing to have. Like, little things that make the park an escape, an experience, like, I mean, I love me a good Disney park, I'm not gonna say I don't. The thing I love the
Mhm.
most about it is when I am there, I'm not anywhere else, just for
Mhm.
those
You know
moments.
what, Pat? And I'm so glad to hear you say that because this whole time I was thinking when I was an audience member listening to you, and I have to just say this, while I appreciated everybody else that shared their stories and there were fantastic speakers, I found myself, I kept looking at the watch like, okay, when can I go grab a cup of coffee? When can I go take a break? Right? Because, like you said, we need to get up
When
and we
can I
need to
go
see.
buy a pair of shoes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Listen, there
I
are good sales out there, and this girl's got to go. But when you took the stage, all of a sudden, everything melted away. I don't even think I had my phone in my hand. I actually told my husband, hey, get some good shots, get some good video content. I'm just going to buckle in for this. And what you did on stage is what I think what Walt did with his parks. You created a moment where we really did drift away. We forgot about the world around us and we got to lock into your story. Like, when you were sharing about how during, the pandemic, and I was right there with you, we went out and bought travel trailers because we're like, hey, I have an idea. If we have to be on lockdown, let's go be on lockdown in the middle of Timbuktu and go see what's out there. And then all the crazy adventures that come with learning what a black tank is, and we call it the poo
yeah,
hose. And we got
so
really
gross.
well versed in that. Yeah. But you did it beautifully. And when I was listening to Pat Dwyer, I wasn't listening to anything else. And I felt that connection with you. I was on the road with you with that RV. I was traveling the world when you got dysentery. And I laughed so hard when you made references to the Oregon Trail because that's my bloodline, right? Like that's just, part of my childhood. So thank you for doing that well and creating a space where
Yes,
people can laugh but be inspired and also be educated. And I think that's the craft. When you're able to do all of those things, because as a speaker, you're not just speaking. You are an educator, you are an entertainer, you are sometimes a therapist, right? And so I think people might miss that. When they're seeing these people like you take the stage, like there's such an art to it. So thank you for sharing that.
my goodness, that means the absolute world to me. And also, just sidebar, to be even in the same breath as Walt Disney is its own. Gosh,
Yeah.
I'll be eating on that for months and weeks and years. Good God. But I think that experience portion is the root of what is, to your words, the craft. Like this is why to go back just real quick, we talked about the Blackwater tank in an RV, and then we immediately said I got dysentery. Those were different events. I just want to be clear for the audience. I did not; those were not connected directly. My
Never let
wife
facts
and I,
get in the way of a good story, Pat.
yeah, no, I mean that's a little,
They
that's
did now, Pat.
golly. Okay, well,
Mm-mm.
um the ideas that we get to share, and the ideas that, like, I mean, heck, you said you couldn't even, like, you didn't take any pictures, you were locked in, like, that's all that I'm working for. I mean, I studied a little bit of theater in school, but when I was in the conservatory at Second City, and then 15 years on stage, I mean, we were doing 10 shows a week, and I got better and better and better at how do I get to these people? How do I get to them quickly? How can I help them be the best versions of themselves in this moment? I mean, that sounds really egotistical that I have any control over that, but that was my aim. And
Sure.
so it did cause some friction in Chicago. There were times when people would say, like, the audience is not with us today. And I'd be like, well, you have not done your job. And that's the way that I always approach it. Like, let's go, let's
Sure.
connect with them. And, like, I mean, you're talking about the pictures. As a speaker, of course, we value the experience in the room, but your boy needs to get some photos back and videos and things like that. And they had asked the audience after the TED Talk to share the pictures that they had taken. There's a myriad of pictures out there. None of them are of me. And I was very frustrated by that
Ah,
until I realized that that was because people were with me and they were having a really good time, so much so that 10 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever, disappeared. and they were just in it for that moment in time. And that is so awesome that that happened.
Sure.
Pat, you have no idea the gift you've just given me because I have this creative director on my team, and everywhere I go to speak, she'll say, I need pictures, I need pictures, I need pictures, get video, get video, get video. And then I come back empty handed
Hmm.
and I'm in trouble, right? And now I can just say, oh, I had them, eating out of the palm of my hand. Nobody, nobody even remembered that they
Yeah.
had a cell phone, let alone took a picture or a video.
Uh,
Jeff, you're just too good, Jeff. You're just
I'm
too
telling you,
good. Yeah.
I love
Meanwhile,
it.
there's photos and video of me all over the interwebs because
That's how you know. That's how you know if it's going well or not. Like,
oh,
oh,
Yeah.
those
geez,
pictures.
boys.
So, Pat, you actually bring up an interesting point that I think is relative to the age that we live in, 2026, whatever, and that is Walt wanted to create an alternate world, an alternate reality, if you will. He wanted us to be immersed in the story. And I believe part of what drove him was he wanted to use story to challenge us to then go out and live our own great or our own better story, right?
Mhm.
And so, at Disneyland, part of how he created that was with the berm, which keeps the magic of the Magic Kingdom in, the distractions of the outside world out. At Walt Disney World, there's something about 27,440 acres. That means you can build whatever you want and you're surrounded by all of the land that you own. You don't need a berm because the land itself provides that for you. I am curious. One of my frustrations in the Disney park experience today is you can't go without being on your phone.
Mm,
Yeah, me too.
And I would love, like, I almost want to go back 20 years, 30 years and be stupid again. I'll use your term.
yes.
And, instead of having to be digital all day, go analog, if you will. And, just be immersed in the experience, be present, be, totally soaked by the story. And so I'm curious, like, what is your approach to technology and, how do you balance, leveraging it and using it versus it overtaking?
Do you mean
Mm,
during a presentation or getting on Gmail?
I think just how do you handle it in life?
Oh, sure. Yeah, do my best to stay present. I mean, especially with my children. And honestly, I got yelled at. We went to Disney World uh, about a year and a half ago, maybe something like that. And I got yelled at a few times by my wife because I was trying to get the next fast pass and I was missing what my kids were doing. I was like, yeah, but I'm trying to get what they need
Mhm.
next. So Jeff, I hear you, brother. Like it is not where it needs to be because we're taking ourselves out of the experience so much so by dealing with this.
Right.
I mean, that said, friends, just sidebar real quick. And you're going to have to remind me what your question is after I tell you the story because goodness gracious, friends, Epcot has that, scavenger hunt thing with the DuckTales theme that's through the Disney Play app. I don't know if
Mhm.
either of you have ever done this before. It
I haven't. No.
is fantastic. And y'all, everybody listening needs to go back to Epcot. So Epcot when we were kids was fine, but as a kid, it was hard to be engaged. And yes, now they
Yeah.
are bringing a number of world themes, world stories to that.
IPs.
Yeah, lots of
Hmm.
IP for those kinds of things. What is it? Ratatouille, Frozen, probably Coco,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think is coming, things like that. But they have this DuckTales adventure scavenger hunt thing, and you basically go to each country and it asks you a question. You have to find that element of the country, and then
Yeah.
something happens that, like, for instance, in France, you hit a button and then it says, oh, you found the bad guy. Here comes Dewey. And Dewey Duck zip lines across the top of France, but you wouldn't know it unless you're watching or
Oh,
looking.
that's cool.
But they have all these
What?
interactive elements that, like, happen. Like, for instance, in Norway, you push a button and you follow the clues, and the waterfall opens, and there is a sword and a shield behind it. Like, again, things that you wouldn't if you're standing
Yeah.
around and something happens, like, I think in the Japanese pavilion, at some point, Webbigail, like, pops up out of a box in the store, and people just think it's, like, a thing that happens in Disney World, but, like, if you're playing the game, you know that you are the one that did that. It is
That's cool.
my children are at the time, I think there were 6 and 8. We were in Epcot 6 hours straight, we played this game. Like,
That's
we
amazing.
just went country to country to country playing while we ate and I drank food We not you can't drink food. They don't have blenders. Okay, whatever.
But I
We
think in
drove.
Epcot you can. I think that's what they're
Yeah,
known for is
yeah.
drink eating your way around the world. Yes,
We
it
drank
works.
that our way around the world, I'll tell you. And it was
Mm,
an absolute blast. But like that kind of taking yourself using technology for the advantage of the story, for the advantage of
mhm,
the education, for the advantage of the experience, all for.
right.
Set up fast passes for days on end because if I don't do this, there's no way in heck I'm getting on Guardians that day. Like that,
Right.
which
Oh,
is top shelf fan. Man, that Guardians ride in Disney World is
oh, I
top
can't wait to try.
shelf.
It's been so long since I've been. I gotta go. I know.
Oh my god, it's hands down
I
the
know.
best ride. From a storyline to thrill ride experience, it's insane. It's just insane.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Ha- half $1 billion will go a long way.
I mean,
That's how much that ride
yeah.
costs. It's insane.
Oh, why is that really how much that thing costs?
Yep.
Was it how much of that was purchasing the IP? Oh, I guess they own it because it's
Yeah, they already own it. Well,
oh,
yeah, no, they had bought Marvel years before, so and have made so much money off of Marvel that they probably just used that to buy to pay for the attraction. So
I gotta say that ride more than, and I am a massive Star Wars fan. I mean, I even have behind me in this little vignette here. I have a K-bar crystal from the, and somebody's gonna be like, "You're saying that wrong." Probably, but that's
Yeah.
a one of them lightsaber crystals. Like I keep it because I'm a dork. I've got several Star Wars things around me right now.
Oh, I love it.
That said, of the Star Wars world, did I weep a little bit? Did my wife kind of be like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Maybe. I don't know. I'm standing in front of the Millennium Falcon." That said, the Guardians ride from what you saw in the movie to how the ride vehicle moves is exactly what I would have pictured if I was in their vehicle in the movie. If I was in their
Yeah.
ship in the movie,
well, that's cool.
it was. I mean, that's worth it. All the money they spent, as far as I'm concerned. That's the only ride
Yep.
Well,
I've ever
Pat,
experienced that's like that.
if it makes you feel better, the very first time I did Rise, which was at Disneyland, as the
Hmm.
ride was coming to an end at the last show scene, my daughter looks over and she's like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Absolutely." Like I just went to church, and I don't know what just happened here, but I was thanking people that worked there. The poor guy was like, "I just push a button," and I'm like, "Thank you for your investment in the creativity of the future." And he's like, "This woman." But yeah, to see something of that magnitude just moves you. But that goes back to impactful storytelling. And
Hmm.
I love that connection because if you do it well, you're able to, with a physical experience that you create, a visual experience, or even just your words, you're able to create something that moves people to feel something.
Hmm.
Right. And I think that's where the gift is.
And
And I
I
think
think
that,
regardless of who you are or what you do, that is the craft, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Getting people to feel something.
yeah,
Whether you're functioning or like us, a non-functioning member of society, moving the needle of emotions is the way that we connect, right?
yeah.
And ultimately, it's how we change the world, and it's how people will remember us in the world.
Agreed. I mean, and it's honestly like how we, I think, truly learn from each other is through feelings and through
Yeah.
emotions. So, one of the things that we talked about quite a bit in Chicago, especially while writing, is like, right, but what does that person feel? What is that person's reason?
Mm,
What is their why for being in the room? And one of the rules for improv specifically is you want to create, because we're making things up as we go from an improv perspective, not too dissimilar to life itself, right?
to light, right?
Yeah, people are like, "Oh my gosh, you do improv. How hard is that?" I'm like, "It's not. It's just a conversation. I do it faster. It's just the same. It's the same conversation you have if you met somebody for the first time. It's not a big deal."
Try to keep
So,
up. Yeah.
yeah, come on, gang. But the idea of what does that person want, but more importantly, like, why are they in that room? And so you as an improviser, you as a comedian in that moment have to pick a why that keeps you in that room. So for instance, if I'm in that room and I say, okay, my why is that I want to purchase this jar of jelly from the owner of the store. And I walk in the scene and I say, hey, can I get the jar of jelly? And they say, yeah, okay. I have to leave. Like, there's no reason for me to be there anymore. Right. But if I want that store owner to tell me that they love me because I've been here every day for 17 years, that's going to keep me in that room a whole heck of a lot longer. So
Mm,
it's not just about finding the emotion and meeting the emotion, but giving yourself a goal for your emotion. And I
right.
think like when I'm creating stuff for the stage, for speaking, for sketch or whatever else, the real thing is like what's the feeling that we're working on? What is the reason that we're going to adhere ourselves to this information and then want more of it? Like, where does the
Mm,
dopamine come in from? Is it dopamine from sadness? Is it dopamine from happiness? What's the reason we're in the room that day? And I think for
I
me
love
as a
that
speaker,
question.
especially when it comes to me as a speaker in a large conference room, or like a large, I mean, you got 3,000 people in a room. Everybody needs to have some why are we in the
right.
room today thing answered. Cause, we're all getting, a lot of people either have paid to be in that room or they're getting paid to be in that room. So what's the point? Like, why are we, what are we getting? What
Yeah.
do I get? So to
So,
put,
Pat, if somebody wanted to hire you to come and speak in their room, how do we
yeah.
find you?
Well, the easiest way is my website, patdwyerwastaken.com, because Pat Dwyer, I tried to buy patdwyer.com, but somebody bought it. So I bought
I
patdwyerwastaken.com.
love
And
it.
so that works. That's
That's
probably the
hilarious.
easiest way to find me. All my information's right on there.
All right. And anything else? Anything else we should know about you?
No, I mean, guys,
Leave
come
us
and
with
find
the
me.
nugget.
Leave you with
No
a
pressure.
nugget. Ooh,
I
what
love
kind
the figure out why people are in the room,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's okay to be stupid. We need one more from you.
Okay, what about this? If we can make our goal, this is going to sound a little cliche, but I'm going to elaborate and then it will sound even more cliche. So if we live in a world of believing somebody wants something good for us, even if it serves them, that might take us further than believing that somebody doesn't have our best interest at heart.
Mm,
So I would suggest that we can live in a world of kindness, even if we are trying to do something for ourselves. I think right now we are experiencing a time and place where a lot of people are trying to figure out what they're getting from the deal. And if
right.
maybe we can ask what we give somebody else from the deal and what we
Mm,
get out of it too, we might be in a little bit further spot to create some really, really cool stuff.
I love that.
well, that's great. So
So I
Cool.
just made that up on the spot, friends. Come on now. Okay, well, see
I
ya.
love it. I love
Bye.
it.
You have to make
All
a
right.
lot of t-shirts with a lot of your one-liners. I
Oh my
love it.
gosh, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Kristen, take us home.
I'm going to take us home. Pat, thank you so very much for letting me capture you and hang on to you because you are such a gift to both Jeff, myself, and the world. We wish you nothing but the best of luck in the future. And to all of our listeners out there, thanks for joining us again, and we will see you real soon.